Hey y'all, this is Angela here again at the Chicken Coop. And today I have been working out in my greenhouse all day, clearing out, getting my plants out, because that's the thing about Texas when you have a greenhouse. There reaches a point where it's just going to be extremely hot in here for your plants. And we are going to tackle something. My son's fixing to come out here and help me with this. I am kind of like the nurse for wayward plants, I guess, is what, I don't know what you call it. Several years ago, a lady that's in my garden club said, hey, I have this plant. It's a split leaf philodendron. It's gotten too big and they want to get rid of it. Do you want it? I said, sure, I'll come get it. So my husband and I go to pick it up, and it is this monstrosity. This thing is huge. No telling how old this thing is. Well, I've just put it in my greenhouse, and it has sat here for probably a good 3 or 4 years. I have tried to do all sorts of kind of research on it because I didn't want to kill the plant. To cut it back, how you cut this back. I have watched videos on it. I have searched YouTube. I have searched just the internet. And y'all, there is not really anything out there that I found about a plant like this. There's lots of videos about them, but nothing about, and they talk about it. They talk about how big they get. And they also, now if you were in Florida, these would just be planted in your yard and you could do something, you know, you just let them go. But this is Texas. They usually only survive zone 9 and up, and I'm zone 8B. So it probably would survive outside, but it might not if we had a hard freeze. So it talks about how to, you know, cut them back a little bit, propagate a little leaf, but it doesn't talk about this huge monstrosity. And it looks like at one time, someone a long time ago might have cut it off. Let me show you. Okay, show you. All right, see down there at the bottom how there's a part of the trunk that is smaller than the top of the trunk. It's not as big in diameter. See how it gets smaller right there? I don't know if you can see it good. See how that bottom part is smaller than this upper part. But y'all, this thing has just got to go somewhere. It's huge. It's taking up too much room, and today is the day. I'm either going to kill it or it's going to survive, but we're going to work on this plant today, my son and I. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't tackled it, because I knew I needed help, because there's absolutely no way that I can manhandle this, and there is absolutely no way that I can afford the pots for this thing. That's, you know, a pot that's huge would have to be the pot for this. So we're either going to kill it or it's going to live. Stay tuned.
It's pretty loose already.
Let's cut that. So when my son was getting it out, because we decided to bring it out here to work on it because it's cooler out here than it is inside the greenhouse, it had rooted down into the ground in my greenhouse. And look, there's hardly any dirt or soil in this pot. So, Logan, just take the reciprocating saw and just see if you can just cut that whole thing in half.
if I just try and like do it with like a shovel?
That's fine. Miss it. Clippers. It's like Siamese twins. They're separated. Yay! Cutting off all these aerial roots. Just so it's easier for us to even work with. So we'll show you what that looks like when he gets that accomplished. All right, so my son actually, we decided to do an experiment and we cut this one off where the top met that small section. One will have roots and one won't, but it'll have the spots where the aerial roots were, and hopefully it will root out. So this is our experiment on this one. All right, so the final product is we cut off all those aerial roots and we cut the plant in half right about where it got smaller. The top of it went down to a smaller diameter. We cut that off. So the one with that just looks like a stalk in the ground, it actually has the roots from the plant original. The one on the left that has the leaves does not have any roots, but it does have the spots on it where the aerial roots were growing. Now, some of the aerial roots had rooted into the ground and they had like little roots on them too. So I feel like if we can keep this moist, keep it in a nice, good environment, that will start rooting out. So this is our experiment to see. We might have killed the whole plant, or now I have, Lord knows, now I got 2 plants in that one. So we'll just see how it goes. Did the same thing with this plant here. These are my syrup tubs. We drilled holes in the bottom of them. They each have 2 bags of really good potting soil in them. So we'll just see how it goes. This is a real shaded area of my yard. It gets a little bit of dappled sun, but very little. But I didn't want, this is going to stress this plant out already. This just what we've done, and so I didn't want it to be out in the sun or in the heat. I mean, it's going to be in the heat, but it's going to be cooler up underneath this tree in the shade than it is. This is the kind of our property line, and past that fence right there, it is a jungle over there. So we'll just see how it goes, but it will get a little bit of dappled sun, and I will keep y'all posted on what we've done. And like I say, I had researched the internet, I've researched YouTube, and nothing showed me what to do with this plant. It was just too tall. I could not keep it as tall as it was. It was just getting out of control. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and if y'all like my videos, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend. I'd really appreciate it. My channel is growing all the time, and I really thank y'all for doing all what y'all do for my channel.